if you were picking somebody to win the division today, and that's not when we make the picks, and that's not how that works, but the Saints would be the pick. Like, I don't see how you could. I mean, you could suggest that you think the Falcons or Panthers will take a leap forward. We don't know what they're going to have at quarterback, and the same thing with the Buccaneers. The Saints roster is good enough on both sides of the ball, where assuming Alvin Kamara can get clear of whatever. And you have Chris Olave, and we don't know that. Theory, you have Michael. There's enough there with Derek Carr, assuming he can play at a what level do we expect? Maybe this is the next question. What level do we expect out of Derek Carr?
Well, I don't think that we're going to be looking at Matthew Stafford going to Los Angeles type of a seismic swing there for New Orleans. I think that that's putting a little too much pressure on Derek Carr, but I think you're going to see a guy that's basically been the same guy that we saw in Las Vegas. I don't think we're going to have a dramatic leap. I mean, this is a guy last year that was playing with the leading rusher in the NFL, Devontae Adams. Like, it's not like he was lacking weapons and that was the whole issue. So yeah, you're going to give him Alvin Kamara pending all that legal stuff, and second year Chris Olave, and who knows what happens. I don't think they can financially get out of that contract. So if he's on the field and healthy, yeah, those are some weapons. Now, they're going to be more competitive because of the division that they play in. So I think that we're still going to get the Derek Carr that we've always seen. I think that it's going to be a B-plus type of quarterback. I think that that's what New Orleans will be getting. And the odds are saying that they, plus 130 to win the NFC South. I would look at Atlanta a little bit at plus 425. You're talking about a team that could make a huge swing for a quarterback, have the second most cap space in the NFL. If you can get the Saints at plus money here, then sure, I'll take that. But Atlanta, to me, if you're looking for a value play, that to me would be the most attractive, just considering the setup that they have going into the offseason.
So, I would want, if you're building out a portfolio for, division winners, and it's dangerous to do it in March, believe me. Yeah. I paid the price I nearly paid a very steep price for the Buccaneers. Definitely paid a very steep price for the Packers last year. But I think if you're building out a portfolio for division winners, and you could get the Saints at plus money right now, it's a very good look, because there's a chance. And I'm just saying that, like, we don't know what the Falcons will do. We don't know what the Bucs will do. We don't know what the Panthers will do. There's a chance the Panthers draft Anthony Richardson at 9 and sign Jacoby Brissett, and then the Saints would probably close at like minus money. So if that's available right now, I think it's a good look. I don't think that you have to you don't have to uncork five units on it, no. Just assuming that the Saints are going to end up winning the division. But yeah, I mean, at plus 130, if the other teams in this division don't make meaningful upgrades at the quarterback position. And again, we don't know how it's going to happen. Like, if the Panthers trade for Aaron Rodgers, they'll be the favorites.
Yeah,
If the Falcons go get Lamar Jackson, they're the huge favorites, and you have a terrible bet on the Saints. I think Jen, somebody in the chat pointed out that like CJ Stroud for the Panthers. And again, that's sort of the calculus too that's hard to figure out right now, is that if the Panthers went and got somebody like CJ Stroud or even a Bryce Young, which we don't think is we don't know if that's likely or possible at number 9, or whether they trade up or what. Like, if they did that, then I would probably make them the favorites as well, because you have guys who can make an impact right away, in theory, based on what we saw from CJ Stroud and Bryce Young in their college careers. And then CJ Stroud put on a phenomenal showing at the Combine. If the Panthers went and got, like, again, Richardson, that's a whole different ball of wax. So yeah. I just think it's like that. That's just part of the, you're building out a portfolio, and you have to just sort of be cognizant of what those teams might do and how it will shift the odds. And I don't think Aaron Rodgers or Lamar Jackson are coming to this division. I don't think the Buccaneers are going to make a big, like, I don't think Tom Brady's coming back. But I mean, weirder things have happened. So I think there's a decent chance that regardless of what happens in this offseason, Sully, that Derek Carr does go into 2023.
As Will's saying, the best quarterback in that division. I think that that's easily the case that's going to be here. And I'm with Will on that you look at what Carolina is set up to be now. Yeah, they could have dipped their toe into the Derek Carr waters, and they were obviously one of the teams interested reportedly. But I do think that they are now on a path here to all of a sudden go with the rookie quarterback, whether that be Will Levis, like we were talking about, a CJ Stroud and Anthony Richardson. I don't think Bryce Young is going to be there. But ultimately, they're going down that road, like you're saying, Will. I think the Carolina Panthers go down the rookie quarterback route, because I don't think that Frank Reich is all of a sudden going to go, okay, I'll just roll with another veteran quarterback like Jimmy Garoppolo or something like that. I think that what he's had in Indy doesn't make a lot of sense for him to do this now. Yeah, sure, maybe Carr would give you the bigger upside. That's maybe where you would make that bet. But ultimately, I think you go down with the rookie quarterback.
Yeah, I think that's where they go to. And I think I was cut off. The Carr family sniped me, so that way if you were going to
on your internet.
Yeah, you're going to finish my sentence. It was going to go, Derek Carr is the best, and there's a quarterback of all time. So the Carr family took me out. Yeah, I think there's a very good chance he goes into 2023 as the best quarterback in the division. Like I think that's where just because you wouldn't take even if you like I would obviously take CJ Stroud over Derek Carr for the long haul. Just for 2023.
For 2023, you're taking Derek Carr.
Even the most staunch Derek Carr hater. And by the way, what an egg for me in my face how I spent like 10 years predicting the demise, or like 5 years predicting the demise and release of Derek Carr. Finally, they hired Josh McDaniels. I don't know. I acquiesce or I just cave and I become a Derek. I'm like, Derek Carr's going to have an incredible year. And he has a terrible, he's a meh year and he gets released. I mean, God, it's unbelievable by me. What a pansy I am.
Well, I do think that now that Carr is in New Orleans, we're kind of talking about it here a little bit with Carolina, but I do think the domino effect now is fascinating because this is the first big quarterback move to happen this offseason. It was expected to be the first move because, again, Carr was released. He was free to sign with whatever. He doesn't have to wait till the start of free agency. Now it starts to get interesting. Carolina, I think we all assume is going to go down the rookie quarterback route, or at least that's what I think. I don't think they're going to go down with Frank Reich with another veteran. That doesn't make sense.
No. I think that they'll add a rookie and then they'll add somebody like Jacoby Brissett.
Sure. Yeah. That's right. That's right. I'm not saying
the idea that Frank Reich and the Panthers were going to just sign like Derek Carr and that's just going to. I mean, I understand why it works in New Orleans. They needed a quarterback. They're replacing basically Andy Dalton and Jameis Winston. What a perfect. I mean, like Derek Carr is kind of a good. You're like upgrading off Andy Dalton. And you're giving yourself a little more. You're giving yourself upside without the craziness that comes with like Jameis Winston. You're reuniting him with his old head coach, and you have a veteran presence who in a bad division where you sort of need to win. Like you kind of got to. I think not that there's sounds on the hot seat. Just that, Sean Payton's specter was looming for a while, and the Saints could use this is a good time to go after a Derek Carr. It fits for both sides. The other thing I would say too before we get into the dominoes is it's just that. Like, I'm not kidding, man. I mean, Derek Carr's entire family blocked me on Twitter. Derek Carr, David Carr, and Darren Carr. Darren doesn't even play. He's like coaches high school football or something. And they blocked me because I said, I posted a video of Derek Carr spiking like throwing away a ball on fourth down with 4th and 18 with the game on the line. And David accused me of, he's like, that's a obvious play action like screen, and it's like, no, it's not. Like, you just don't throw the ball away. And like, I'm not saying I've talked to people who agree with me who were I'm saying like I wasn't wrong. And you hear all these stories about the fan, like everyone, all of them blocking all these Raiders beat reporters in Oakland and Vegas. They'd block them and they'd be like, oh, sorry, okay, unblock them, and like and then block them again. Like, going to the New York Jets would have been a really, really bad idea for this family. I don't care how good a fit it would have been. Derek Carr in the New York media market would have been a problemo.
I mean, already you were getting, just with the flirtation with the visit, we're talking about Derek Carr becoming a first ballot Hall of Famer. That was just off a visit. So
it's ridiculous.
That did seem like, just not like it was going to mix well.
Did somebody say that?
That was a report that was the pitch to Derek Carr during his meeting with the Jets. They said, if you come to New York, I think it was Diana Rossini who had it from ESPN, that if you come to New York and win, you will be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Which
I got
what?
I got a lot of texts about that one because it was like, oh, look, it's Brinson Stafford tag, except it's Derek Carr. Isn't that ironic? I was like, yeah, that actually, it would be ironic. Thank you for using irony correctly, person who is harassing me about this Derek Carr take. Yeah, I mean, like, and I love Rossini, but that wasn't happening. Like, I don't like. I mean, if you want a Super Bowl with the Jets, maybe he's a Hall of Famer. I mean, that
he currently has 0 playoff wins. Let's just point that out. We're talking about the New Orleans Saints becoming the favorite to get into the postseason. But for Carr, it's about winning in the postseason.
Yeah.
He's been unable to do that so far.
Yeah, that's true. And look, I don't think Matthew Stafford did Stafford have a playoff win? He might have had 1 playoff win.
had
before.
maybe one.
Yeah. I mean, the point being is this is a better fit culturally
For sure.
and media wise for Derek Carr than it would have been for if he'd gone to, excuse me, the Saints.